Ever wonder why some players are able to walk onto the pitch brimming with confidence, ready to stamp their authority on the game, whilst others, they hesitate, they doubt, they fade under pressure? Now, this is not just luck or raw talent, it's science. And today, we are going to break down the neuroscience behind unstoppable confidence. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can train your brain to develop brilliant confidence, just like the very best players. Now, confidence is not just a feeling, it is a skill. It's a mental muscle. And just like any muscle, it can be trained, it can be strengthened, and it can be conditioned to perform when it matters most. So let's dive in now to how it works. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Mark Bowden. I'm a mental performance coach to professional football players, mainly at Premier League and Championship level. I'm also the author of the best-selling book, Use Your Brain, Raise Your Game. Now, let's begin with the concept of self-efficacy. Now, psychologist Albert Bandura, he introduced the idea of this self-efficacy, and this is essentially believing that you can succeed at a specific task. Now, think of it as the backbone of confidence. The stronger that your self-efficacy is, the more resilient and the more composed that you're going to be, no matter what kind of pressure that you're under on the pitch. And here is where this belief lies in your brain. So neuroscience, it points to the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, or the DLPFC. This is the technical area within your brain. Now, this area, it handles decision-making, rational thoughts, and emotional regulation. It is like your brain's manager. It is constantly assessing past wins and current inputs to see if you have the belief that you've got what it takes to succeed in the task that you're doing. Now, the more positive experiences that you bank, the stronger that these neural pathways become. Now, most importantly, how do we train this mental muscle? Now, what we've got to look at now is how it all starts with preparation, not just any preparation either. What we're talking about here is deliberate and focused practice. Now, I want you to picture this. Every drill that you finish, every extra shot that you take in training, every video analysis session, every time you do extras after training, this adds money to the bank. Now, it's a great metaphor that we can use, money in the bank, because each bit of effort is a deposit into your confidence account, ready to be withdrawn when that pressure is on. The next time you finish a training session, I want you to remind yourself that is money in the bank. But on top of this, you may also want to think of this before you train, because this way it's going to give you more natural desire to add to your confidence account. So when you're next in training, give yourself that incentive to push a bit harder, to do the difficult things, knowing that this is putting money in this confidence bank. And now let's focus on something else that is also very important to this confidence. Now, what's happening in your brain when you practice? Now, repeated actions lead to a process called myelination. Now, think of this as wrapping insulation around the wires in your brain. The more you practice drills, whether that's passing, shooting, patterns of play, the thicker that this myelin sheath becomes. Now, why is this important? Well, the thicker that this myelin sheath becomes, the faster, the smoother, and the more effective that these brain signals will travel down these neural connections. This will turn confident action into an automatic response, so that confidence just becomes an automatic part of who you are. So when things come on top during a tough game, your brilliance will come out instinctively and automatically. Now, next up is positive reinforcement. Now, practicing is brilliant, but we also need to make sure that within this practice, we're getting things right. Maybe it's a great finish in the bottom corner or a dominant header, because every small victory, these wins activate what is known as the ventral striatum in your brain. Now, this triggers dopamine release. Now, this is a feel-good neurochemical that makes you want to repeat successful actions. Now, here's the key. Acknowledge these key moments, because when you do acknowledge the good things that you do, this will prime your brain to want even more of this. So what we can actually do here is write down your achievements, and even the small ones. If it was a good tackle, a nice pass, a great response when something went wrong, keep a confidence journal. Then before every game, just have a scan through it. Read some of the success entries. And this is going to flood your mind with positive experiences. And it's not just motivational, it is mental priming. And confidence is not just built within these comfort zones. It is forged when things get tough. When you train under challenging conditions, pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, this is where you can make some brilliant changes. So let's not be taking hot shots at the keeper with all the time in the world. Get a defender to pressurize you, just like in a match day environment. Or maybe you're a winger. You do a couple of sprints to get your heart rate up. Then you look to do some crossing drills. You don't simply jog up to a stationary ball at leisure and look to whip the ball in under no pressure at all. You need to practice these things in a more realistic game day scenario, because by doing this, you are telling your brain that you can handle this. The amygdala, the part of your brain that processes fear, will start to adapt. It learns that these situations are not a concern. They're not stressful. They're not life-threatening, but instead they are manageable. And the more you expose yourself to these controlled stressors, the better that your prefrontal cortex will become at signaling to the amygdala, hey, stay calm, we've got this. So then when you're under pressure on match day, you are still able to execute the perfect ball with calmness, precision, and that brilliant confidence. So make sure you push through those extra reps, embrace the tough drills, and then mentally note every time you overcome and achieve something. Each moment of struggle is another deposit, making your confidence bank even stronger. Now here's where it comes together. Repeated success, no matter how small, builds an upward spiral. Your DLPFC recalls these successes, making confidence easier to access during the actual game, during match day. Now the cycle goes prepare, then reinforce, facing the adversity, and then repeating. Each loop strengthens that muscle until confidence becomes automatic. Now remember, even the most well-prepared athletes can have moments of doubt. That is when social support also comes into play. So a few words from a coach, a teammate, or a mentor can be the confidence alone that you need to keep going. Getting this kind of feedback from someone will trigger an oxytocin release in your brain, a hormone that makes you feel connected and secure. Now, hearing someone simply saying to you, you've got this can shift your mindset in seconds. Now, if you have found this video useful, you are going to love this video on getting into the flow state. Now, I'll see you in the next video.